My name is Ulana Tyshynsky, and I have been creating Pysanka for many, many years. I've been doing it probably for 50 years.
My name is Grunau. I have been creating Pysanka since 1982.
Pysanka comes from the root word pisate, which means to write. And basically, we are writing symbols on an egg. The pagans in Ukraine started decorating eggs because it was a symbol of life. It's the rebirth of life in the springtime. And so we have a lot more eggs availability in the springtime, and they decided to decorate them in honor of the rebirth of the earth. When Christianity was introduced in Ukraine in 988, then a lot of the symbols that were pagan symbols took on Christian meanings, and then Christian symbols were also then applied to the eggs as well. A lot of the eggs today, Pysanka eggs, are the combination of both pagan and Christian symbols. Traditionally, it is from mother to daughter or son. It's my heritage. It's Ukrainian heritage, and I'm very happy to say that a lot of people who are not Ukrainian have adopted, the making of Pysanka. It's something that's been done in the springtime and then only during Lent, and then you put your supplies away until the following year.
And what you need to make a Pysanka is an egg, a kistka, the beautiful wax that's beeswax and has a scent of honey, and a candle. That's all you need.
And the kistka is a copper cone that is attached to a stick, or originally a bone. And the copper is such a wonderful conductor of the melting wax in the inside. You're actually writing or drawing with it. Beeswax, it really adheres so solidly to the egg shell that is what preserves the color of the egg.
It's a wax-resist process, and it is very time-consuming. So anybody who wants to do this really has to be set to do something for several hours. You don't get immediate gratification from this. What you get is it's a meditative experience.
A Pysanka, it starts off as a white egg, and you let the beeswax melt onto the white shell wherever you want things to remain white. That beeswax is going to preserve the white of the egg. When you put that entire egg into a yellow dye, that whole egg is going to be yellow except for the black lines. It's just the beeswax that's black because it's from the flame and the carbon. So you pull it out and you have a yellow egg. Then you decide what on that egg are you going to want to remain yellow. And then you apply the wax, melting it again onto all of the areas that you want to remain yellow. And you cover that with beeswax also, and you put it into the orange dye. And you start from the lightest color, you go down to the darkest color. So you start off with yellow and you go to black. The more you apply the beeswax, the darker the egg becomes, and the less you really see. And the most wonderful thing about making a Pysanka is the final stage where it's in its darkest color, and most of the time it's black, and then you unveil it by melting off all the wax, and that's where the colors come through, because you can't see until you get to the final stage. When you do a Pysanka, it is always divided symmetrically in two. Half of the egg is to represent life on earth, and the other half is to represent life after death. And that's, a Pysanka is an Easter egg. So it's always symmetrical.
For one of the beginning ones, that's easily 3 hours. When you get into the more complex eggs, I would say you can go up to 6 hours before the unveiling.
An intact egg is used because the egg itself represents life. And the whole point of decorating a Pysanka is to celebrate life. Over the years, the egg, the white, will disintegrate more or less, and the yolk will become a lump, and you'll have a rattling egg. You don't put it in an airtight container. You don't put it ever in styrofoam. You don't put it into direct sunlight. But after, I would say, 6 years or so, it'll be fine, and it can last forever. It's something that's beautiful, and we want to share it with others.